Welcome to KeNAWRUA podcast, where we dive deep into the heart of Kenya water resources and conservation effort. Here, we bring you stories, insight, and discussion that matters, from the vibrant flow of rivers and lakes to the powerful roles of community in preserving our precious water sources. In today's episode, we explore how each of us has a part to play in the stewardship of our natural resources. Remember, maji yetu, jukumu letu, our water, our responsibility. Join us on this journey as we uncover solution, celebrate initiative, and connect with the pulse of water conservation in Kenya.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, our listeners, wherever you are this afternoon. Today, in our panel of discussion, we have our partners, lawyers, pro bono lawyers, and we have a rep from the Law Society of Kenya, who will be discussing with us today on a topic on water challenges and injustices that are happening in this country. So our viewers, for the last 2 days, yesterday and today, we have been having a serious, active engagement with the lawyers, whereby we're just trying to understand what are the issues in the water sector, what does the law say as far as those issues are concerned, and we have come to the realization in the last 2 days that really we need to come together and see how can we work together moving forward to ensure that Kenya becomes a water secure country. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our podcast session. And maybe I want to give you this opportunity just to introduce yourself just for a minute.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bosire Geoffrey. I'm an advocate practicing in Nairobi. I'm a partner at GB Bosire and Company Advocates. I also run a consultancy on matters trade and investment. I'm a seasoned public interest litigator. I've appeared on behalf of the LSK and so many other partners in public interest cases touching not just one area, and that's why I got interested to understand whatever the conversation that KeNAWRUA had. And we are happy that for the second day today, we've had very insightful information and a way forward on the best way we can ensure that water justice in Kenya is achieved. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Harold Ayodo. I'm an advocate of the High Court. Currently, I work at the Law Society of Kenya as the director in charge of continuing professional development. We are in charge with the training of advocates countrywide towards the improvement of their professional development. We were approached by KeNAWRUA 2 months ago with the intention to start training advocates on issues of water and water injustices. We went through their applications, and after we confirmed that their documentations were straight and legal, LSK accredited them, and that's why we had this workshop here for 2 days, which was very engaging, and we hope that this partnership will continue as we move ahead, especially to help us face the challenges expected in 2040, which is not far away, because experts have already projected by 2040, if we do not use our water resources sustainably, then humankind will be endangered. We have also learned about the importance of strategic public interest litigation on matters of water. So we hope that once they're trained, our advocates will be champions of the same towards the survival of mankind. Thank you.
Santisan. Agnes?
Good evening, or afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Agnes I'm an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I specialize in human rights law. And I currently am a research fellow with the International Council for Human Rights, Peace and Politics. And currently I've been onboarded as a pro bono lawyer with KeNAWRUA. So this workshop was a meaningful one because access to water is a human rights issue as well. So to be able to find human rights-based approaches, to be able to ensure access to water for all, and not just any water, but quality water and accessible water to everyone. I think this conversation has been meaningful because it goes beyond the easy languages or theory about access to water, but the practicality on the ground to ensure that access to water is a right that has been realized for all Kenyans. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, karibuni sana. So let's now deep dive into the outcome of the workshop. When you came in yesterday, we have shown you some of the issues across the country, what is happening, irrespective of the very good laws, regulations and policies we have as a country. What is there something new you have learned out of the workshop that you did not know when you came in yesterday?
Yeah, there is quite a lot that we've learned. Key among them is the need to understand that water is, every day it is getting scarce. Actually, part of the information we learned is that we only have 3% of our land cover that is accessing fresh water. And it is projected that by 2040, that water cover is going to reduce even more. And that is a challenge that everybody must be concerned about. Because you see, in as much as we say that we cannot do anything, there is an effect that is going to catch up with us. And that is a direct effect, that has a direct effect to the human existence. Therefore, part of the concerted efforts that we are trying to achieve with KeNAWRUA includes let everybody know that this is an issue that we must take part in. Let us also stop some of the challenges that are man-made, that are geared towards extinction of human race. So there's been quite a lot that we've learned for the past 2 days, which I feel that if at least everybody gets to take up this matter at a personal level, informing the entire society, there can be a way in which we can avoid degradation and we help humankind in the way forward. That is just one of the very many things that I've learned, and I hope that this conversation will always continue. Yeah. Yes.
I have learned that we have several organizations that deal with the matters touching on water. We also have several policies, statutes, and laws generally, which I think if we can be able to come up with one statute that deals with everything, it's going to be easy. Then again, I think both the bar and the bench should be taught well about issues of water, because the lawyers are better placed again in championing for the war against water injustice.
Yes.
Because with our education and our training as legal professionals, we are better placed to move to court with well-drafted petitions with the correct documents attached to convince the courts of law of the injustices which are being committed on natural resources.
Yeah.
So I've learned a lot, and I hope that going forward, our colleagues countrywide also do the same as we partner with KeNAWRUA.
Yes.
Towards the same.
Thank you. Thank you, Agnes.
I've learned a lot that my interaction with water that it's not just someone else's responsibility. It's my own responsibility and every other person's responsibility. If really we are to protect our water bodies, if we are to protect the water resources available to us. I've also learned about the balancing of the conflicting interests when it comes to matters water and the development of our country in matters extraction of resources. It's important to note that yes, we want development, yes, we want to extract minerals, yes, we want to benefit from the economic growth of this country, but we don't want to do it at the expense of the population of this country. We do not want to allow people or foreign investors to come into our country, then leave, scores of dead people because we've been unable to really interrogate the contracts we enter into and balance the conflicting interests as it relates to water. So it is important, yes, to safeguard our water, which is life, but also allow for economic development, be it that industrial development or not. So I'm really grateful because I've learned that it's not someone else's responsibility. It begins with me. And as lawyers, it's also for us to get away from our desks and go to the ground and be able to witness what exactly is happening to our community so that it becomes more real to us that we are at a place of threat when it comes to our resources, water as a resource in this country. So, and I look forward to further engagement. I look forward to learning more because this conversation needed to happen yesterday, but I'm glad it started today.
Great, of course, we will continue working with you guys. We'll continue engaging with you guys on matters of really enforcement and really implementing the law to Bono Bosire, I want to come back to you. As an organization, we are representing the Wajikos from the ground on matters of water rights. Like I mentioned earlier on, we have a number of policies, laws, and really regulations that are governing our water across the country. But we still have a problem with enforcement of such laws. For instance, there are agencies that are tasked by law to enforce and regulate and really check out on injustices happening in our environment. But you see again, they are not really enforcing those regulations to the letter. How can we make sure that enforcement is there? These institutions are working there the way they are supposed to be.
Yes, actually, KeNAWRUA has taken a step to the right direction. The first thing is that you have onboarded the Law Society of Kenya.
Yeah.
I serve in the Public Interest Litigation Committee of the Law Society of Kenya, and we've gone to court to challenge so many issues. I'm in court currently because of the floods that happened. We are in court currently because of disaster management mechanisms. The first step that we've done to the right direction is to be in partnership with the Law Society of Kenya,
Yeah.
because the Wanjikus might not have the money and the resources to secure the services of a lawyer.
Yeah.
But through the human rights lawyers, like our colleagues here, through the Law Society of Kenya, through persons of goodwill, we always come in, and LSK has had a very robust policy on litigation of public interest. In as much as we have impunity in the sector, we have institutions that are not doing their work well. Provided we take it up as a concerted effort. One thing I can assure you is that through the experience that we've seen in courts, if we challenge these decisions that are made half-heartedly, if we challenge these institutions to do their work properly, there is change that is always coming. The government might sometimes overlook the steps that we are taking so that we can ensure that they're accountable, but they never get away with it.
Yeah.
So therefore, as KeNAWRUA and as the Law Society and as individual advocates who are passionate about public interest, we are always willing and ready to take up any deserving case that is in the interest of the public. So that is why I'm so happy to be part of the conversation, and I can guarantee you that this is a very, very bold step towards the better direction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bono Bosire. I come back to you, Agnes, as a lawyer, as a woman, maybe also as a mother.
Yes.
One of the challenges we are having in the sector is representation of women, specifically in decision-making instances. They don't have an opportunity. I don't know the reason why. And we have come to the realization that indeed women are the ones who interact with these resources on a daily basis. What encouragement can you give to these women, one, and especially to those, because we discussed yesterday the issue of some women even engaging in sex to get a 20-liter boat. Some women engaging in sex to get 2-3 fish so that she can feed her family. How can we really speak out about this? How can these women really speak out about this for the government and the world to know that indeed there is this sort of harassment in the sector?
Thank you for that question. It's, as you rightly put it, that women bear the greatest burden when it comes to water. The people who are going to go to the rivers to fetch water or to go in search of water are the women, because the household depends on a woman. So it is important that when we're having conversations about water, use, management, access, that a woman is at the decision-making table. And not just to be seen, but to be heard as well. Meaning their contribution to this conversation should be factored in legislation, in policy frameworks, and in activities on the ground. So let it not be, and this is a challenge to government agencies, let it not just be tokenism, or we have a woman, now women are represented.
Yeah.
But the value of their voice is hard, because a woman's voice is very unique from a man's voice. And it's important to have it integrated in the conversation about water. But more importantly, we should make sure that never again will a woman have to exchange sex for water.
Yeah.
Never again will a woman have to betray herself for the sake of her children or herself.
Yeah.
And therefore it's a deliberate action taken by those people in power, government agencies, government authorities, to make sure that the conversation incorporates women and their voices.
Yeah.
And that on the ground, let us have women participating in forums. When we go to the ground, let us hear the voice of women. Let's not just have boardroom meetings and make decisions for women back in the society. Let us have them present and hear them and incorporate. They know the challenges more than we do. They're the people who are able to tell you what they are actually going through, what they would want. And for us to be able to achieve and realize the right to water, it's important to have a meaningful inclusion of women voices at the decision-making table.
I was somewhere around, I think it was in West Pokot, I think a year ago, and I had a meeting with community members that were all men. When I asked them where are women, they told me, hey, women are so busy cooking for us, fetching water, fetching firewood, so we are here to make decisions for them. What do you take?
It is wrong.
How can we change that perception?
In fact, that meeting should not have continued without the presence of women.
Yeah.
Quite literally, because a man's perspective is a man's perspective. A woman's perspective is a woman's perspective.
Yeah.
And if you're saying water is a right for all,
Yeah.
it means that as much as it's important to have a man's voice,
Yeah.
it's important to have a woman's voice. And we are in 2024. Women are no longer relegated to cooking, and we are part of this society. We are the people who are going to create change, not just for ourselves, but for the future generations. We do not want to make decisions in absence of a vital group of people that influence society in the future generation. So a change of mind, a realization that we are in a new age and that women are important as men when it comes to making decisions. And even as organizations, when we go to the ground, let's make sure that women are invited. They are present, not just invited, they are present. And when we live there, we live with information gathered from both men and female, so that even as we retire to come and draft legislation or policies, we have the awareness that this has come from both men, women, and children. Yes.
Now, maybe to our women who are listening to us now, especially the ones who are going through some of the injustices like sex for water, fish, sex for fish, are there structures that they can make use of really to bring out some of these cases for prosecution or also for enforcement?
Absolutely. Reporting, for example, There are various bodies, human rights bodies, across various regions in this country. I think the idea that a woman should be silent is far gone.
Yeah.
A woman, we should be able to reach women and tell them that this is not how things should work.
Yeah.
It's your right to access some of these resources without having to exchange it with sex.
Yeah.
And when that happens, they are reporting desks in the police station.
Yeah.
They are reporting desks in government agencies within the country. That those are places where they can run to and they can seek help. We have the Law Society. We have lawyers who can take up some of these things and prosecute on behalf of these women. It will not cost them anything. They just need to report. They just need to be brave enough to speak out, so that even the leaders, even the women representatives, even the whole country is aware of what is going on, and we can be able to deal with the matter, so that it doesn't remain silenced and hushed and only spoken to in low tones. Everybody needs to be aware that this is happening and it needs to stop. But it begins with speaking up, being brave to.
Great, thank you. Bwana Bosire, very quickly, in 1 minute, government is not implementing water policies.
Yes.
How can we get those policies out of the shelves, collecting that and doing the right thing? Implementation, because that is a problem we have as a country.
I'm a bit. We've been against the government of most of these policies. There is a general attitude that I'm really loving about the population in Kenya today. People have information, people are aware of their rights, and people are going for their rights.
Correct.
It is not now going to be business as usual. In as much as the government may have an option to neglect or to just avoid and determine what is going to what is the effect to this common management, people are so much awake, and the persons given the responsibility to do these assignments have to do it, whether by hook or crook, because we push them, we go to courts, we get orders against them, we even now pushing them to be held personally and individually liable, so that now it is not business of sitting in offices, just maybe just with a don't care attitude because maybe you are not affected by these issues. So in as much as that it is a sorry state of affairs right away, but gradually people are now demanding services and they are using all means necessary. That's why you saw the Gen Zs on the streets the other time when Parliament betrayed. Yeah. That is why we go to courts every day to challenge some of these bad decisions made by these persons who don't want to be held accountable. In as much as it is a long-term process, these small steps that we are taking will push these decision makers into giving up wood.
Thank you very much. So I think we now almost finalizing our interview here. So Agnes,
Yes.
your last one.
Water is life, guys. Water is life. We cannot continue business as usual. We must be deliberate. We must have concerted effort. Government agencies, the population, everybody, civil society organization, everybody must come together to ensure the access to water is realized. I know the government has a way of saying that social and economic rights are yeah, they're progressive rights, but no, I think this is something that needs to be addressed here and now, and it's everybody should take up their role to ensure that we have access to water, and access to water is achieved and realized for all Kenyans. So I invite everybody to be part of this conversation, to have a proactive approach towards ensuring that we have access to water and we preserve water, and we have responsible and sustainable water management activities, even in our own homes.
Thank you. Bonayono, your closing remarks?
The closing remarks is that these water injustices we have learned about over the past 2 days should now end. We've now had the environment and land courts in Kenya now for 14 years. We should make use of them as advocates. Let us be champions to this and ensure that we have a safe environment and clean drinking water.
Thank you, Bwana Bosire. Your last word, and I want you really to see how make a clarion call. What can you tell your fellow lawyers as far as water justice is concerned? Okay.
Yeah, the best way to be an advocate is through serving the public interest. We are persons who are like the eye of the general public. We have the ability to see what is right, what is wrong. There are so many wrong things happening in the water sector, and it is upon us to come out. You can join the pro bono scheme of KeNAWRUA. We are here to assist the general society, not an individual. And I'm requesting any person of goodwill, very many lawyers who are in the circle, in the human rights space, in the different NGOs, to just come out and try to assist this noble project. It is as simple as just trying to reach out to KeNAWRUA, and they will assist you in the onboarding process, so that at least you can serve the best interests of the society.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you very much, my panel today, this afternoon. We have come to the end of our podcast, and yes, if you want to listen to this, follow us on our YouTube handle at KeNAWRUA's, X handle, KeNAWRUA, and of course at our Facebook page, which is Kenya National Ruas. Asanteni sana, and I wish you a blessed afternoon. Thank you. Asante.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Asante.
Yes.